I'll read off the agenda.
I think
what do you
we'll just
got?
We were just
Yeah, go ahead.
recapping from last week. So for those of you who missed it, we talked with Blink Labs at Digitalis. I think that's how you pronounce it. Basically, Handshake SLDs offered on their Cardano network. So it was interesting talking to them, seeing how they're planning on doing that. They had some cool ideas about future use cases with them, like governance and some other ideas. If you missed it, I would recommend actually listening to the recording because you'll learn a lot more than my recap. We also talked about the MVG, Minimal Viable Governance proposal. I'm not sure if we'll be talking about proposals later, but we'll probably stick to the easier topics first.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess maybe we take a break from governance talk. I don't know, or maybe a highlight. I actually, sorry, I missed the call. I've been on the road, as I just said, so I missed last week. So, but yeah, I mean, there has been some emotions about this debates, but maybe a quick recap of that.
Well, from memory, there wasn't really much that outcome of the discussion. Mainly just people giving their opinions. I think there was a little bit about. Yeah, I can't remember. It was a little while ago, but I don't think there was any major outcome from it.
Got it. Okay. What else is on the agenda?
So, some quick highlights over the last month is we have the second release of Fingertip with stateless Dane. This allows for switching between stateless Dane and a regular Dane full node, SPV node. So if you have problems with stateless Dane, or if you want less reliance on third-party infrastructure, then you can switch to solving the domains locally on your computer.
Okay. Yep. Maybe we just run down the list first, and then we go into the detail later. So that.
Yep.
What else? I see. What other? Maybe just run down the bullet points first, and then we go to each one.
So I think after that, Alex had some points for name base, and then we also had some updates from him on the Hamza. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. Is it Hamza?
Yeah, that would be Mike, and then I'll some planning stuff about beforehand. Short and sweet, the highlights of the discussion, and then we can go to the proposal if that would be the case. But Alex Neto is also here to share some things. I couldn't get Alexander for Stateless Stain to share tonight, but maybe next time we can have more convenient time space. If not here, maybe on the decentralized TV hosted by Sun. Yeah, but definitely, he's also open to doing a podcast with SkyInclude as well, and then maybe do a quick. But basically, that's the short list that we have for tonight. Nothing really heavy, unless you want to go. You guys want to go there.
Sure.
Yeah. So, did we want to start with some name-based updates?
Yeah, Alex is up late. No, thanks for being up so late for us, Alex.
Well,
Yep.
Invite again. It's always a pleasure to talk and to hear everybody's voice. And I know it's still a bit far away, but I'm really looking forward to HandyCon, seeing everybody, seeing exciting new projects as well. Yeah, but in regards to what I wanted to speak today, I just wanted to say that Namebase has been a bit quiet, but we are building. We are building heavily. We're gonna have two. Well, one of them is not quite new, but I can say that we are close to launching our new Namebase registrar, which will sell SLDs, not these DSLDs. And essentially, one of the things we've noticed is that when people stake their TLDs, they automatically think that it will be selling on Namecheap, right? The way the registry works is that you can stake your TLD, and then our registrar partners have if they want to sell or not your TLD. opportunity to all of those TLDs that deserve recognition and give them a platform to at least have the opportunity to promote their business, their TLDs.
So can I clarify, Alex?
Did he drop out?
Yeah. I mean, maybe you can help. So what he just said is you stake and it can go to, what are the current partners? It's Porkbun and Circa. What are the other?
I think there was one other. Oh, yep, there we go.
Hey, Alex.
Oh, no, now you can hear me. Sorry. Was struggling with my AirPods.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Mike, what was your question?
It's two parts, but one was, like you said, it's not guaranteed to get onto Namecheap or other registries. But I guess what are the potential ones again, so we could remember?
Yeah, good question. So we have Namecheap, we have Encirca, and we'll have Namebase soon.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So Namebase will launch its own SLD registrar, and the idea is that we will accept all staked TLDs to allow anybody that stakes their TLD the opportunity to sell and monetize off the TLD. And there are like pretty cool single letter TLDs like .z, .y that don't have as much recognition because they're not on Namecheap. But we believe that by providing this new platform, that premium TLDs that are not recognized will have its place to be recognized. Another cool feature about this registrar and the unique thing is that all payments will be in HNS. So this will mean more activity on chain, and you'll use HNS to buy SLDs, to renew SLDs, and to also transfer in SLDs from other registrars and transfer out if you wish to transfer out. So that's a big thing for us. And yeah, we're very excited. We have been working on this for the past 5 months now, and we're looking at either December or January launch. Not a fixed date, but around that time, end of year, beginning of the next year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I could say it in my words and hope I understand correctly. So people will be able to buy SLDs on Namebase in HNS, and they can also transfer in or out to other registrars that support that TLD.
Exactly. So other registrars that support the TLD and that are partners of our Namebase registry. So for example, I have dot P or dot decentralized LD, and I can transfer it from Namecheap to Namebase and manage it there. You'll be able to use and add DNS records, ENSSEC, and also have the Namebase name servers.
Okay. Awesome. And then in both ways, right? So I could take it from Namebase to Namecheap if it's supported on Namecheap.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So that's one of the big products that we are preparing to launch. And then the other thing that I would like to say is not exactly a new product, but I can say it's a revamp of wrapped HNS on Ethereum, but also wrapped HNS on Optimism.
Okay.
So providing an easier way to buy and sell HNS. And yeah, right now we are done with the smart contract part. We need to we still have some fine tuning to do, but the goal is to also launch it by the time the registrar is launched, I believe, and also have the ability to use wrapped HNS to buy HNS ID. So that's a big thing we want to do, is make it easier for people to buy Handshake.
So I like to clarify. It's same smart contract address as the current WHNS, correct? Must hopefully.
Sorry, can you say again?
So there's already a wrapped HNS that's in Ethereum, so it would be the same one.
Yes, exactly, but it's been worked on and improved.
All right.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah. Go ahead.
Just to clarify, I think the smart contract address will change. That's because we are revamping it. Is that correct, Alex?
I don't think it's going to change.
Ah,
I don't think so.
so existing wrapped HNS won't need to upgrade or anything?
No, but the problem with the current system is that there's no liquidity.
Yeah.
And we're solving that issue.
Sounds cool. And then after that, I need to have a play around and bridge it to other networks, eh?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see people use Ethereum or Optimism to buy wrapped HNS and obviously on Namebase. Yeah, that's about the two big things I wanted to mention, kind of promote, and I'm open to questions if anybody listening has.
Is Namebase planning on adding liquidity to some nexus like Uniswap or SushiSwap?
Yeah, the plan is to use Uniswap.
And that'll be on Optimism, I'm guessing, or on Ethereum as well.
On Ethereum to start, but then you can use Optimism as well.
Alex, okay. I think I missed some of what you were saying. So I was jumping through Twitter accounts, and I had some issues with the audio. I just want to get clarification on the registry stuff. Are you creating no, I might say competitor, but anything like 3DNS.box?
No.
Yeah, I heard some of what you said, and yeah, so I wasn't 100% sure, but it sounded like some of what you said sounded similar to 3DNS.
No, it's not like 3DNS. It's the registrar that we're building is Handshake SLD registrar.
So I think the same way that Cheap has Handshake XLDs, so entirely off chain via was it EPP registrar sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no problem. Just wanted to confirm because it sounded like you meant that you're about to again the tokenize domains or something.
No. We're not even thinking about that. But it would be interesting. But regardless, it's still pretty exciting, especially for those who stake these and are not selling on any registrar yet. I think it's a huge opportunity for anybody to know that if they stake their TLD, it will be a guarantee that they can be able to sell it SLDs and monetize off of their investments, right? And plus, if people buy on Namebase, they will buy SLDs using Handshake, bringing more utility to the coin.
Yeah, sounds cool. Looking forward to some of the single letter. That'll be cool.
Awesome.
So then you said it's going to be a wrapped HNS on Optimism, but you said liquidity might be on mainnet Ethereum at one first, but later then liquidity to Optimisms like Uniswap, like that.
No, so the idea is that you can use either Ethereum or Optimism to buy wrapped HNS, and then you can do that through Uniswap. Send it to Namebase, and when you send it to Namebase, it will be unwrapped and become Handshake coins.
So then from Namebase, when you withdraw Handshake, you'll have the option between the Handshake network, Ethereum, and Optimism layer 2. Is that right?
Yeah, so if you, let's say you buy wrapped HNS with Ethereum, you deposit it on Namebase, you can then sell that Handshake for either Bitcoin, Ethereum again, or Optimism.
Okay, sounds cool. Looking forward to that.
Me too.
Really great, really great. Thanks, Alex.
Sure.
What's next, Nathan?
I think we were just talking about the HS Anybody tool that I created yesterday. So in the Telegram or the Discord, I can't remember which one, there are a few people asking how to run these on the Impervious registry. The Impervious registry allows you to lock your domain in a anybody can renew address so that the domain is unruggable. The problem is the anybody can renew is a bit confusing to renew. You can't just go into Bob Wallet and click renew. So I created a tool to let you renew those domains. Feel free to have a look, renew.hns.au.
Awesome. And then you said you also helped renew a bunch that were coming up for expiration as well, right?
Yeah, so I noticed there was a time expiring, for example, in a week or two. So I basically just went any domain expiring in the next 100 or so days and renew those. But I'll forget in the future. So if you have SLDs or a TLD staked, make sure you set a reminder in your calendar, because if nobody remembers, they're going to get expired.
I guess some people probably want it to, well, they don't really want it to expire, but they kind of wish they could get it out.
Yeah.
But there's no way to get it out. So the only way is to renew or let it expire. And then if it expires, anybody could, goes back to public auction and then anybody could get it. So,
Yep.
Well, if it is staked on Namebase on the NB registry, it will auto renew, so you don't need to pay the extra fee.
okay.
So if you have a staked TLD, you don't need to worry about renewals.
Just to be
Yep.
clear,
On
impervious,
Namebase.
but not for impervious. Yeah, impervious, you
Yeah.
have to worry about it though. But yeah, not for H3 or HNS. Actually, HNS ID is the same as MB registry, or is it a different setup?
Well, I guess it's the same registry. The
And
only
both.
difference is that you need to mint your TLD as an NFT to be able to start selling decentralized these.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's
one little input I'd have is that name base. Might want to make some branding clarification over that, because I think I get the name base is iterating a lot, but I think that you might want to clarify like all of your infrastructure, what is what, because if the people in the community game are going to be confused about that, and I imagine that people who are completely new to Web3 in total are going to be confused. Just my input.
what why are you confused?
I'm
Maybe I can help clarify.
I'm not confused. I'm just saying that people are already asking now that the HNSID and like your registry. It seems basically from what I can see is that name has been working a lot on working on a lot of registry stuff, and I think that the fact that people ask if name based registry is the same as HNSID, that name base probably should clarify that in their marketing communications so that people know what is what on that. So the community and customers don't get mixed up.
Got it.
Yeah, basically,
Well,
the fact that people ask now says that people are not fully understanding what Namebase is doing, and just said that you're working at a lot of registry things. But if we're asking, it means customers are going to be asking. So whatever you're doing on marketing, you should isolate ensure your messaging of what is name based registry, what is HNSID, what is this, what's that. Make sure people know what every single thing it is, and how they connect to each other. Otherwise, you're going to have confusion when you're selling. Understand?
mm-hmm.
Just giving my feedback.
Understand.
Just giving my feedback on that, because I've actually learned that myself with Loom and trying to figure things out. So I just saw that, so I thought I'd let you know while I had the chance.
Sure. Thanks, Derek, for the heads up. And yeah, it's true that it's not clear, but it's all under the same umbrella. I can say that Namebase now is touching on multiple touch points within Handshake. So we obviously started with TLDs, and then we expanded to Handshake SLDs off chain, so the EPP domains, and we also added the decentralized second level domains, which are Handshake SLDs on chain. Yeah, but it's something that we should definitely, and I have thought about adding to our landing page to clarify everything. So it's a good reminder.
I mean,
Yep.
to not to defend it, but of course it's still a startup, and I mean it's a new technology. But of course we should always strive to be as clear. I was just asking to clarify. I try to always think like a newer person and try to ask clarifying questions. But even I'm not fully clear. Like I guess it's staked. But anyway, I don't know how technically we want to get here. But my assumption is somewhat in the same locking mechanism as either these or DSLDs. It's just the front end might difference.
My assumption in name-based registry is basically equivalency to ENS, and the HNSID is equivalency to running on registry on top of it. But that's just my intuition of what I see. But that's just making. But I don't obviously. That's just assumptions. So, but yeah, as if people are asking, it just says that that whatever you're doing marketing, make sure people know what is what. That's what it comes down to. I'm having to think about that more myself for Loom because I've been all over the place on my R&D, and to the point that many people have been asking me what the hell I'm doing. so I kind of understand where people come from with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a big challenge of, I mean, any new technology, right? I mean, whether it's the computer and then whatever the computer came out when the internet came out, right? Like, I mean, I don't have, I'm kind of old, but I'm not old enough to really experience that first. I mean, I was there for the dot-com boom and nobody knew really what was going on, right? It's just like, it's still very early. I know we've been in it for years, but I think for the majority of people, like actually, just another side story is on this roadshow I was talking about it. Really funny, really funny. I was at the bar after the roadshow in Ho Chi Minh Tuesday, and these friends were joking about registering a domain name to joke with their friend, and they were namecheap.com searching, and then they saw .trans, and they're like showing each other their phone. They're like, oh, I'm gonna get like Joe.trans. And it says Handshake right under it. And then because I was just explaining Handshake because I wear my pin every day. I wear my pin, and they didn't. It was hard for them to grasp because they had no Web3 experience. They're like Web2 affiliate marketers and e-commerce sellers. It was like 6 people at this bar, and I was explaining to them. They're like, wait, you can. And I showed them like my stuff, and I was showing them how it works, and they're like, wait, this is a Handshake domain. And then they actually remembered Handshake from Namecheap because they saw it, but they were going to pay like the .trans is like $70 a year on Namecheap.
Whoa.
Yeah, and then they were comparing it to .gay, and .gay is a normal, I don't know the word, but Web 2 or ICANN.
ICANN.
It was so, but they're like, why is this .trans so expensive? And I'm like, well, you can set any price you want, but it was really interesting to them because they were kind of blown away. Actually, it is pretty amazing when you think about it, about that. Let me see. I'm searching .trans now on Namecheap, or maybe it was
it's probably because it was a 3-letter that made it rather expensive.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, no, I put in 3-letter again. Need to put more.
Were they more surprised about the technology or the censorship stuff, or the fact that it was just something that wasn't where somebody had something that wasn't by ICANN?
I'm going to say it. Even though I'm not happy to say it, but they're like, does this work in a browser? That was like the first question. And I know that's a soft topic for us, especially me.
Yeah, that question never gets old.
But I mean, that is the question, right? That's the main question. After I explain it all to them, I explain Handshake. I explain that you can own your own TLD. You can even stake it on these platforms.
Basically, you give them a 30-minute speech, and they ask, "Can you access it in Chrome?"
Yeah, basically the very last question is, this is all working. Does this work in Chrome? And I'm like, no, but there's this fingertip, you got the stain, it's secure. They're like, oh, okay. And then that's it. Then they just move to the next topic, right? Basically.
Yeah, it's a bane of our existence, really.
And I just say,
that's fine.
I mean, we've all learned, at least I've learned, I never knew how to get a resolution in a browser before this project, but It's integrations is just pay to play. We just got to give them the money. But then what else I said to them is I said I still believe the next internet might not be Chrome. Are we really going to use Chrome in the next internet? I hope not, honestly.
Yeah,
it's too heavy.
My opinion is that where things are, I guess, from a big picture view of where I see things going, I think the next browser is probably going to be Ladybird.
Leap?
You haven't heard of it yet?
No.
Ladybird.
I don't think most people have.
Yeah, well,
so many new browsers popping up. It's hard to keep track.
Well, this one.
True.
Quite frankly, half the new browsers are really just forks of Chrome. So one or two of them are
all the Rust ones. There's like 4 or 5 different Rust ones at the moment.
No, all the Rust ones are either integrating via Chrome, or there's some sort of engine where they're not an actual browser themselves. The only one that's actually that's actually being that's actually pitching as a browser is Ladybird. For some reason, Ladybird, Mike, is basically a 501c foundation that they got $1 million funding plus a lot of other people sponsoring from I'm not sure if the current co-founder or a prior co-founder, but one of the CEOs of GitHub had their family donate $1 million to a new foundation, and it's on the board. So basically, big money is from big tech is basically funding a fast web browser, and it
sounds cool.
And it's from scratch.
Let's create a PR. Handshake him.
Can you spell it? I'm Google. I'm actually on DuckDuckGo. I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm looking at the right one.
Ladybird.org.
Is it Ladybird?
Lady LADYBIRD.org. Yeah, they're basically Ladybird. And it's
Ladybird.
Yeah, and they're basically technology neutral, meaning they don't. They've actually had some controversy. They don't give a shit about politics. They're just giving a shit about the engineering. So yeah, basically they're just trying to create an open web, basically an open browser.
Can they support Handshake?
Nope. They're not going to launch until like 2025, 2026, 2027. That's why I mean they're actively building this. They're actively building heavily. But you can go to their YouTube and watch the monthly updates. Basically, they're heavily building, and then they're actually forking of another project where they forked out, and they're literally building an engine from the ground up. Understand? Like they're not sharing anything with Chrome. So this is basically from zero almost. Which is why it matters.
Yeah, you got to be careful with new browsers though, because like the browser is, well, for most computers, the main point of attack for any viruses.
Yeah. Well,
basically, the internet is dangerous. Your browser is how you talk to the internet, so you want the browser to be as secure as possible. So it's new browsers is something that it's like if they aren't done correctly, who knows how safe they are.
Well, yeah, but even with that, the real problem is that even before the security is funding, it's like realistically, half the browsers that exist are only due to big tech. So it's like the fact that
most of them are forks of Chromium.
Well,
so they use Chromium security.
Well, you get my point. And Chromium was made by $1 billion company who wants to spy on us. My point is that the point is the fact that a browser got like $500 million in funding means that people can actually give a shit because it's like somebody goes and say, "Hey, I'm gonna make a browser from scratch." It's like, okay, good luck with that.
But having that funding will help them actually get kickstarted.
So yeah.
Before we spend too much time, and did you want to talk about Hamza Market?
Yeah, that's the one on the list. But Mike is here.
Oh, come on!
It's in 4 days, right? The launch.
Well, this Sunday.
It's a little choppy, at least for me. And is it just me?
Yeah. I think it's.
Yeah, I think your mic's playing up, and
there's something wrong on the audio.
Maybe get Mike to cover this one. Sorry about that.
Yeah, and well, of course, Anne is awesome. I think everybody knows, and she's getting more involved to support us in Hamza. So Hamza is, I think I've been kind of soft mentioning it over the past year. I don't know if I want to go into the whole story, but it's our main focus now. It's a decentralized e-commerce marketplace to buy and sell physical products with crypto on Optimism. I mean, I think even one small reason, there was other reasons we picked Optimism, but one definite plus is HNSID and Handshake is there. I mean, not all of Handshake, but HNSID is there, and we intend to integrate
as layer
that.
2s go, it's pretty good as layer 2s go,
Yeah, it seems like the big two L2s are Arbitrum or Optimism, really. I mean, of course, there's tons of others. Base is another big one now. But yeah, we picked our Optimism to start. So essentially, we're having a very early. We could be, I think a lot of you here to build know it could take forever, but we really pushed hard to get something out. We did delay it. It was supposed to be this past Monday. We are going to go live in a stealth launch or soft launch this Monday coming, like October 7th, I think. It's Hamza.market on Web2, and it's Hamza Market / on Handshake, although I don't know if we'll have a fully functional e-commerce on the Handshake name at the beginning. It'll be more of a lander until we can figure that out or get that going. But essentially, we're going to have about 15 products to start that you can buy. They're mostly in consumer electronics, like SD cards, power banks. I find some popular consumer electronics, and it's shipping from China, from our logistics center. So I think a lot of I lived there a long time and have operations there. So it'll be a test batch of 15 we call it the Genesis products. So you essentially would be on Optimism L2 with your MetaMask or other Web3 wallets, Ethereum, and transact in USDC, USDT, or Ethereum for the first set. Of course, maybe we can do WHNS or other EVM compatible coins in the future or tokens. But essentially, you can buy physical products with crypto from Hamza.market starting next week. We're going to ship globally, and just be a little bit patient with us. It's shipping from China, but we've done it. I've been doing e-commerce for 20 years. So, but yeah, the prices should be pretty competitive. We're not trying to be more expensive. We're not trying to be the cheapest. And if you want to participate, simply, next week, go to Hamza.market on Web2. And of course, if you have any bugs, let me know. But we've been bug testing and checking it the last few weeks, and it's mostly stable on our internal tests. So the idea is, I'd love to get Handshake integration. A couple of ways to integrate Handshake is, of course, user IDs with HNS-ID. So because it's on Optimism, any HNS.ID name would be able to be used. I learned this from Alex at swap.careers. It's not done yet. Actually, I'd love to engage the community in Handshake more with Hamza. We have a few developers on our team, partners and early stage developers. We are actually always looking for, everybody's looking for technical help. So if you're technical and want to get maybe involved or maybe even help with the HNS-ID integration, that'd be awesome. But yeah, we're going to go live next week to buy and sell physical products with crypto. And, the idea is it's a very early stage MVP. There's so much more we want to do. There's so many more features as every project, but we really wanted to get something to the public. And of course, I can't promise, but as any project, if early adopters and early supporters will be heard as we grow. So we will, of course, know your wallet address, and we'll have we'll be thanking those wallets for their early support over time, if you understand what I mean. So, yeah.
Yeah, sounds cool. So, not sure how it all works, but I'm guessing using the wallet as, logging in with your MetaMask sort of thing.
Yep.
And then I'm guessing for, your actual physical address to post it to, all of that is off-chain, so it doesn't get exposed or anything.
Yep. Yeah,
sounds cool.
Yeah, so again, I'm kind of embarrassed, but we're using AWS for now for the.
That's not embarrassing.
Our technical team doesn't know how to do like Akash or Saya or anything. Maybe this could be if you guys are willing to teach them. But we have really talented developers, but they told me if we want to do it on a decentralized host.
Yeah.
But again, I know Derek's laughing, but go ahead.
Yeah, Mike, I'll tell you this. I'm laughing because I just find that very, very. I just find that a lot of irony in general. Nothing. It's not wrong. I just find a lot of irony in general.
I mean, I'm not going to hide it. I'm not. It's going to be, but we're going to, or we can wait 2 more months, 3 more months. That's the choice. They said maybe it'll take. I mean, that's the reality. So
here's what.
Better to start on AWS anyway, because much easier to update if it's on AWS. What I
can tell you is
decentralized.
What I can tell you is I don't know what exactly Loom's going to be doing for infrastructure. Yeah, I'm actively researching that, but ideally I will be able to run Loom on Akahash myself, and if I do so, I can definitely help on that. I can also tell you that I just finished the IPFS support for Loom, and I expect to be able to have the wider community test that probably either later this month or next month, depending on what priorities I end up doing this month. But yeah, overall, all that regarding the decentralized technologies. Yeah, if you want input on that, yeah, I can obviously definitely help you on both Akahash and Saya, because that's pretty much what I'm having to dig into this quarter.
Okay, well, I mean, the point is, we're calling it, I think in the industry called progressive decentralization.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm having to deal with myself.
So, I mean,
yeah.
We're in the arena there. I love that quote, "The Man in the Arena," by I think it's Roosevelt. But yeah, we can try to build everything decentralized in the world, but it would take forever, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to start. It's a centralized server, right? So your address will be on our centralized database, but it's not going to be public on chain, because you can't put somebody's address on public shipping address on chain anyway.
Yeah, I'm not. To be clear, I'm not criticizing. A lot of what I'm having to do is based roughly the same thing on a short to medium term. So I just find some of it funny. But yeah, I updated Loom's docs this year, basically saying we're basically having to do the same thing. So I can't. So yeah, I can't really criticize on that. I just find the whole situation just kind of funny.
So we're just,
I'm more comfortable using a service on AWS rather than decentralized, mainly because if there is a security problem, then unless you have access to the AWS infrastructure, then you should be fine. But with Akash or Zaya, who knows if the node operators are able to access the data if you design your application incorrectly.
Yep.
So for starting off, makes more sense to be AWS, in my opinion.
So I don't know. Of course, everybody can have their own opinion and listening to this, but what we really want to do is we want to ship. We don't want to keep talking about it. So we're going to ship. The main function, the main crypto or decentralized part is the payment for start, but I still think that's pretty challenging.
More or less a hybrid application. And yeah, I don't blame anybody about being skeptical about Akash or anything. Frankly, I'm going to be learning as I go on there, and I can probably tell what is good or bad. Like I'm actually having to figure out what problems from a technical and business point of view right now. So yeah, I don't blame anyone that, because there's still a lot of unknowns.
Yeah. So anyway, the point is, and I recommend most startups and builders to just get things out there, right? I think one issue in Web3 is because I mean, I had to really push on the team and everybody, because everyone wants to keep building and waiting and getting more features and more of this. I really recommend any project to try to ship something as soon as you can.
In development, that's actually called either scope or feature creep. That's actually a phenomenon where you keep wanting to build it to perfection, and then like 3 years later you never get anything done.
Yeah, better to put out, test it with real world users, and then get a feel for what they want rather than what the 6 or 7 devs want. You'll be able to have a better product in the end, and it's for everybody.
I don't want to say it's easy, but of course we can move the hosting to a decentralized hosting later with a migration, right? And waiting for everything to be fully decentralized.
What I can tell you, at least with Akahash, is that it's kind of like Docker Compose, so effectively, and it actually is Docker more or less. So whatever IT people working on the product understand Docker, It's basically that. It's basically that in the back end. It is decentralized, but the core technology is Docker.
Okay.
I might push everything to a cache then, because everything I run is Docker.
It's basically they wrote an abstraction layer on top of Kubernetes. Put it that way.
Kubernetes. I hate Kubernetes.
Yeah, from what I understand about Akash, we've done some Akash installs, and I even had some Sky Include tutorials. It's essentially one server. It's not really decentralized. You just
it's decentralized and it's a marketplace. But unlike when you're deploying it, you're deploying one VM. It's not deploying a redundancy. If you want redundancy, you have to manage that yourself. The one place that does do redundancy is I can't remember the name, but there is a competitor that kind of does redundancy, but has had some controversy. But Akahash is basically who I'm definitely going to be trusting, at least on the tech, because everything's pretty clear and it's pretty straightforward. But yeah, Akash is basically just basically a compute marketplace. That's all it is. So yes, if you want redundancy and load balancing and all that stuff, you still have to do that yourself at this point. But yeah, it is there.
So I guess back to my little plug for the market. It's also I think some of you remember Perks. We are like we're not officially the new Purse, but there's certain parts of that utilizing. So we're trying to which was also working hard for 9 years to help people buy on Amazon with Bitcoin. So we're trying to be a next level of that, and we're not using Amazon anymore. So for now, the first 15 products is of course one-sided seller, but it's not meant to just be a buy side only. It's meant to be a sell side. So again, I didn't want to wait for many more months, but we're working on the seller side now, and we're launching with the buy side only, but you could sell on this platform in the future your own physical products. So it's meant to be a marketplace long term. So the launch is just going to be a 15 Genesis product launch with consumer electronics from China, from our facility in China. So technically it's a separate entity than Hamza. So I will be the seller, or one of our companies will be a seller as an exercise to have a seller in a marketplace. So the idea is if somebody here wants to try to be a seller in the future, and that's where the more decentralization comes in, because the idea is it's a DAO and it's governed by the community, not governed by the company. So there will be a token in the future. It's a sensitive topic nowadays, but I can imagine there's going to be needing governance of this. So that's the idea is it's a buy sell product platform to buy and sell physical products with crypto, and it's owned and governed by the community.
Sounds cool. Can't wait for Erwin to sell his pins on there, eh?
Yeah, exactly. I know, Erwin. I already showed him. We have a staging server, of course, if you're really curious. But I mean, it'll basically be the staging will be on production Monday on Humper.market. But for now, it's just a lander. But we'll have a live site. But he took a look at the staging. Yeah, Erwin's the best. Yeah, he's so supportive of everything in the community. So yeah, he's very excited, and I'd love to sell his pins when we're ready. But for now, there's no admin panel, so he wouldn't. I mean, I could sell his pins, but he wouldn't be able to log in or see anything because it's all manual. So that we have to build out the admin panel for the seller side, and then we could have him list the pins, and other people like Mig's machine could list his stuff. So yeah, that's the big one, and I really hope to support Handshake. Of course, at the minimum, it seems quote unquote easy for the HNS name integration because it's on Optimism, but of course our developer they're always so busy, but that should be done soon. So your user ID could be that, and then, but long term, I still say e-commerce is one of the fundamental one of the most valuable activities you can do on the internet, right? And some people say that really helped the internet grow is people being able to transact with physical products. So,
Yep.
I think this will add more utility to crypto in general. Right now, a lot of it's all that meme stuff, right? We're trying to actually give real world utility to it.
have it actually as a currency rather than just a, well, I guess, novel toy.
Exactly.
Indeed, basically.
So is this launching Monday the 8th? Is that correct?
Yeah, I don't know what time zone exactly, but yeah, I mean, Monday. We're not going to do a humongous push. So it's, yeah, Monday, maybe safer to say Tuesday, check it out. But yeah, we're not going to do this huge hype thing right now. We're also just testing it. We have our list and everything, but we're not really going to be pushing it so hard. But yeah, it's a self launch or soft launch Monday, the whatever month 8th.
Yeah, sounds cool. I'll have a look.
Yeah, so if you're willing,
I might wait for a day or two before I buy anything, to make sure nothing breaks, but should be right.
Yeah, I don't think I've been using it. I've been buying on it as a tester internal for like 2 or 3 months. I mean, basically, you go to MetaMask or any wallet, you flip to Optimism. You have to have some ETH, small amount of ETH for the gas, and you can pay with USDC, USDT, or ETH. So I actually sometimes just use all ETH. So, but you need to have a little bit of ETH, as you know, for the gas speed. But that's like, as you know from HNSID, that's going to be like less than maybe a penny or two in ETH.
For USDC transfer, it's like nothing. It's like 0.00001 ETH or something, even less than that.
Yeah. So if you're from anybody who's already using HNS ID and has bought a name on HNS ID, would be able to use this pretty easily because you know how to get to Optimism and use like MetaMask or a Web3 wallet. So instead of buying a domain from HNS ID, you would buy a physical product from Hamza.market, and then we would collect. Of course, you need your shipping address, an email. We didn't really want to require email, but we need to communicate to you, and I don't know any other way currently that are easy.
Yeah, it makes sense.
But of course, we want to make it more. You can have like maybe some kind of wallet chats or wallet.
There are experimental Web3 like wall-based systems, but realistically, there's no like spec or standard gotten widespread. Just a bunch of people trying to compete against each other on ideas. So yeah, right now, if you want to ensure communication, just stick to email.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we were going to do it optional, but then if there's an address problem or an order problem, we have no way to contact you. You'll see it in your web account, but there's not even a chat. So, so of course, we want to be as privacy as possible. You can use any address that you can receive physical products in, and you can use any email you'd like to receive notifications, and then we can ship you products. So yeah, you can do it all in ETH, or you can do USDT, USDC, but yeah, a small amount of ETH for the gas on Optimism, and then we'll ship you the goods. It will be coming from China, and it will probably take 10 to 14 days. So it's not like next day, but this is just the first iteration, right? So of course, if Erwin puts his pins on there and he's in Australia and you're in Australia and he ships from Australia, you'll receive it hopefully in a day or so, right? So in the long term, each seller will have their shipping policies. So it's shipping from China for the first set of products.
Sounds cool. Did we want to talk about HandyCon before it gets too late for the
I think we should.
folks?
I mean, it's also at the hour mark, so yeah, let's.
Let me just say one thing before we move on, and it's pretty quick. I just want to say that I'm excited to test it, become a customer.
Yeah.
And if you need help with the HNSID stuff, just let me know. We can talk offline, and yeah, I'm curious to understand more about how the seller part will work, but we can have that conversation offline.
Yeah,
and congrats, of course.
I mean, thanks, Alex. Yeah, so there'll be various price points. I mean, I think the cheapest, I think it's free shipping, but $10, $15 USD will be some of, and they're good products. So but of course we actually will have a couple a little bit more expensive. But yeah, I mean, no pressure on anybody. But if anybody is willing to, be a first user, and we'll try our best to reward those people too, long term. And then for the seller side, yeah, we got to build this out. It was hoping December, but I feel like it might be even January. You know how development is, because there's still a lot on the buy side that we're fixing, and there's 3 main developers on our team right now, and it's still not enough. Actually, we are we are looking to hire another back-end developer. You can let me or Ann know if anybody's interested to apply. We have an opening. It's a startup budget, but it's a paid position. But yeah, the seller side is also going to be progressive decentralization. It might be a quote unquote, it'll be a little bit centralized at the beginning, but we want to have it where you apply through your wallet and there's a whole like a process. But probably the first iteration of the sell side would be applying with a form and things like that. But long term would be like totally like decentralized application process and listing process. But it'll be a step by step.
Makes sense. If you need any help, let us know.
Okay, I will.
Awesome.
So, Ann, is your microphone or internet better? Do you want to talk about HandyCon? If not, I could speak.
I think her mic might not be working. Did you have anything you wanted to say, Mike? Or was that mainly Ann?
Well, it's a ways away. So, but
Hey.
oh, there's Ann.
Yeah. So maybe by mid-November, we're gonna start prepping for HandyCon. It's I think I mentioned this before, but mainly it's still online. Meeting in person, we'll try to see how far and how much we can do for the in-person parts. Especially the goal is on break, is on pause. He was the one who was the most active collaborator for when it comes to in-person events. But maybe we can think of something. We're also open to suggestions as to the theme. I was thinking that handshake high five. Everybody does a high five. It's 5 years for us. And of course we're gonna start sharing some updates and also the planning side. So much to talk about right now. I feel it's a little bit early, but yeah, it's interesting. A lot of people are already asking about it. Yeah. So hopefully we can see more application integrations as we approach the event. Yeah, and it's also good to from new people. So I think there's already some people on the list. But yeah, that's about it. And thanks for asking. And if you have some suggestions, yes, please do reach out. Thanks.
Yep.
Thank you.
I think we just want to bring it up because I know some people are, almost consider if it's happening, it's gonna happen.
So
Yeah, it's gonna happen.
I'm sorry, is anyone speaking? Is it Mike?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, Mike. I can't hear you, so that's all good. Mike, did you want to go ahead?
I mean, just to reiterate, it's happening. It's always March. It's gonna happen. As much as, like she says, there are people always say about in person, but we're pretty distributed community. I don't even know where we're all based. I mean, we're covering like every continent on this call, and I mean, even if we wanted to, but it's also very expensive, and there's risks involved with for many ways. So most likely it'll be online again. I think actually quite a few people prefer it because some are more anonymous and things like that. So, but yeah, it's definitely happening. Well, I don't know if we have the dates yet, but March 2025. Similar format, probably similar the AirMeet software we have, and of course, any suggestions or input. I think Ann will probably run like a survey or a application process. We want to welcome as many people, new and old, to share their updates, their knowledge. So it's happening.
Yeah, start to have products to talk about or projects to discuss.
Yeah, I mean
hopefully by then, Namebase will have the Wrap TMS and our registry finished. So we'll be able to talk about that.
Yeah, that's what actually I think that's HandyCon's always done is it sets like a goal for projects in a community to hit, right? You can put some dates and some targets and hard deadlines. It has to be, especially as developers want to kind of perfect something. Well, they have to get it out by that date, right? So we can all set some dark dates for that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, that's very true. It's almost like preparing an e-commerce website for Black Friday or something like that.
Yep.
Kind of.
Okay, so maybe we're done for now. I guess it's been over an hour. I think it was a good conversation. Unless there's any other hour and a half almost. Any other questions or points?
I can't think of anything. Does anybody else have any questions? Anything I didn't understand or anything we missed?
Are you thinking about Flamingo auction?
That's a good one. We are. I mean, it's similar. Of course, same team as the HandyCon, and we. I guess the hesitation is, it's a little bit quiet now, and if we want to get for the sellers, enough exposure and bids, is probably the main hesitation. But and do you have any back about the next Flamingo Handshake auction?
I'm not sure if Anne can hear you. Anne, did you have anything to mention Flamingo auction for the HandyCon?
I mean, I'll just speak. I don't hear her. Is she speaking? I don't hear her.
No, I think the connections play up a bit.
So yeah, basically, Alex, we've been just kind of wanting to do it, but we're also just trying to think when's the right time to start them. And then, yeah, we did take a pause. And if we start, we kind of want to keep going. I mean, not stop, or we can just do them less often. Maybe we could just do it less often now. But I mean, we've been wanting to do it.
Yeah, I think less often with more domains in each one would make more sense. There were a couple of cool domains on the on-chain auctions lately, like, for example, the stop sign emoji.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah, so who knows? There could be some cool domains on Flamingo auction. So the next one's going to be at HandyCon, is that correct?
Oh, I think we can do it before HandyCon. That's March. So I think at least one this year. Maybe we can do like a Christmas one or a year-end one. I don't think we have to wait that long. I think we should at least do one this year, maybe in December. I'm also a little bit busy personally. And
yeah, you sound it. You're everywhere, man. It's like, what? I look at your Twitter and it's like, oh, is it a different country now? Oh, is it a different city?
Yeah, so, I mean, I'm actually very excited. I mean, even when I first heard about Handshake in 2020, it's not like I wasn't doing what I'm doing in my normal Web 2 world, but I've been an e-commerce seller and community person. And I always was like, oh, Handshake and e-commerce, a lot of the TLDs I always was getting was product or e-commerce related. And this Hamza is kind of the project that I'm really hoping can unite my two worlds, like, because I'm able to bridge my Web 2 e-commerce with this Web 3 world. And it's a huge gap still. Like when I spoke about Hamza and decentralized internet, a little bit of Handshake last night. I speak at these events. It's like we don't have a long speech. It's like a 5 to 8 minutes slide deck I go through. But I show like Hamza and I talk about crypto. Most of the people in the audience don't have any clue. They have no clue. And like I said, I talked to them at the bar about the Handshake domain when they were on Namecheap. They had no clue. So it's still, I mean, we all think it's been a long time. We're frustrated maybe about adoption, but it's still just so early, but I really hope that with how can bridge, Handshake and decentralized and Web3 with my Web 2 e-commerce world is the goal.
Yeah, sounds like a cool project. Was there anything else you wanted to talk about?
No, I think that's it.
The comments doesn't seem to be any shirts. All good. Does anybody else have anything? Doesn't look like it.
Yeah, so this is recorded. I'm hoping it is recorded because if Anne can't hear me and she's recording on hers, it might mean I'm not getting recorded. But anyway, I hope this works. I know people don't like Twitter's. Some people don't like Twitter Spaces, but some people don't like the other ones. So we're just trying to distribute the different ways of community and communication. So thank everybody for tuning in, and that's it.
Yep. Thanks for listening in. We'll see you again in a couple of weeks. I think the next one's
we try to do
is on Discord.
Yeah. Decentralized, is there a date picked yet, Santiago, or he can come up on stage too? But yeah, decentralizers I think will be the one next. We try to do these Handshake.masterminds at least monthly if we can, and usually we've been doing Twitter Spaces the last couple of years. But yeah, decentralizers would be next. I'm not sure when the next call is, but check their Twitter and Santiago will let us know. And again, it's this is what I love about Handshake is it's truly like there's nobody in charge, like we're just putting these together. Best
way to run, I reckon.
There's the good and the bad, right? We can go. That's a whole nother conversation, but I like it.
Yeah.
But it's definitely slower. That centralized is faster, but the decentralized I think is slower, but it's more valuable or stronger long term. But anyway, let's wrap up for now.
Sounds good. Yeah, thanks everybody for coming.
Okay.
It was a good chat. Yeah, I assume we'll send a link to the recording, and I guess hope that everybody was able to be heard.
Yep, I hope so. All right.
Thank you, everybody.
All right, take care.
You too.